I just dropped just one short talking about these two great podcasts that talk about Jeffrey Epstein and lay out very succinctly and fact-based, based completely on court documents and matters of fact and finding, based on all of the legal matters that have been brought forth against Jeffrey Epstein since the early 2000s. And the two podcasts that I recommend listening to if you want just real information in a concise way, it's called We Can Do Hard Things. And they uploaded 2 episodes about Jeffrey Epstein. One was on February 10th, one was on February 12th. And Amanda Doyle, who used to be an attorney, she outlines basically everything about him, where he was born, how he was raised, and then how he, ended up not going to even graduate from college, to being positioned as this global financier, but really how he ended up ensnaring all of these millionaires and billionaires in his pay-to-play scheme and blackmailed them by, something's going on, giving him access to children, to children and young girls, and then videotaping it and blackmailing all of these people to coerce them into keeping him wealthy and rich. So I recommend the podcast. Look it up. It's called We Can Do Hard Things. And then the second podcast from February 12th, Amanda Doyle meets with the attorney who's represented clients since as far back as 2007, I want to say. And he talks about this one client in particular who basically was just a badass and was like, I want to fight this, I want justice. And so he took on the cases, I believe pro bono, because those are the real heroes, by the way, is the people who fight for justice and for victims. And he outlines basically a government conspiracy, and not conspiracy because, like I said, it's all matters of fact and finding in court documents, about how the prosecution actually colluded with Jeffrey Epstein back in 2007 against the victims and offered him a sweet deal that the judge never even saw the deal. And they had a no prosecution agreement, an NPA. So the prosecution made a deal with Jeffrey Epstein and his attorneys to never prosecute him. So if you want more of this information, please watch those 2 podcasts. Something's going on here. So I come to you today walking on my lunch break in the rain again. And that's because I sit in an office all day long, unless I'm traveling or have meetings. I sit in an office that has no windows and I sit in it all day long. And so I rely on my weather app to tell me what the weather is outside, and it said it wasn't raining. It's raining. So I like to take a walk, and I do that because I like to be outside of my 4 walls and also, connect and ground myself and get some fresh air and exercise. So I wanted, I'm just gonna take this off. I wanted to come on and talk about how, the starting place for me with these YouTube videos was initially prompted due to my frustration with my homeowners association community and the board of directors trying to basically cancel culture me. So I talk about that in a lot of my videos, and I'm going to start dividing things into playlists because my nature, if you've watched my bio video, is that I'm a social worker and just a regular human that cares very much for my other fellow humans And I want to try to work together to make bridges and connect us and get us out from those silos that we all sit in and watch, social media and the news and root for our side. It's just really not healthy. It's not healthy to do that. So I want to start making more commentary about, national news, global news, political issues, or just issues that affect people in general, and try to make sense of it and connect on a more human level and really look at facts, because one of my concerns is that we're getting away from facts and reality in these silos. And you may have heard the term confirmation bias, but confirmation bias basically means that you seek out information that will just support your side. So that's how we're ending up in these silos and digging in, because people aren't really opening their minds to new information and new ideas. So I want my videos to be very focused on really looking at facts and information and using our senses that we learned back in elementary school to really look at what's going on. A lot of people talk, and we see all of these politicians fighting, and they say certain things and they repeat them over and over, but that doesn't mean that it's a fact. And what you really need to do is look at people's actions and behavior. So I want to talk more about that and create a space and a place for us to do that and commit to that. So anyway, that's where I'm at today with things. Regarding the Jeffrey Epstein, I plan to do a more in-depth video, because who's not talking about that? And I don't want to be a place or a space that's all about clickbait or rage bait. We have enough of that in this world. It gets loud when a car passes. We have so many people that put things on social media that's meant to just get you to click on it out of rage and anger and emotions. And that's not the kind of space that I want to create for people. I want to develop more of a civic-minded space. And it's kind of hard because it's just one way and I'm just talking. So I would love it if you're into this to comment so we can kind of create a community about this, because it's just really is weird to just be like in a vacuum talking to myself. So if you like it, subscribe and comment so I can interact with you. But, this whole Jeffrey Epstein scandal is just so heartbreaking on so many levels, because I'm someone who grew up with parents who are very salt of the earth parents. Their parents immigrated from Europe, and they were just born out of hard work and treat other humans well and take care of each other. And I don't know or understand what goes on in this world where people are either born into or get themselves into these power classes of money and influence and control, and everything goes out the window as far as morals and character and integrity. And what's happening now in our political system is just a travesty. I don't think the government is working for us at all. They are not trying to take care of us or be there for us. And it's becoming more evident day by day that we're pretty much out here to fend for ourselves while we work ourselves to the bone and give all our money away. Just take all my money, take all my taxes, tax me every time I make a purchase, every time I sell something, every dollar I make, just take all my money. And then work to cover up things like what's going on with Jeffrey Epstein and the abuse of children. What is going on in this world? So anyway, I really want to dig into what I learned in the podcast and what I'm seeing from my own observations, and create a space and place and see if you all agree or disagree, and also talk about what can we do about it, because we're not powerless. And we need to just take our power back and come together and unite instead of fight. So if you're here for it, if you're with me, then keep watching. And I'm going to try to get organized since I only started this a month ago. And talk to you more about it soon. But hang in there, because we're all in this together.